Yo, hey there. Welcome into another edition of Between the Lines, where we take you inside the pages of Success Magazine. I'm Josh Ellis, editor-in-chief, and I am joined by longtime friend of success, the great Simon T. Bailey. How are you, Simon?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Your feature in the May June issue is Love Thy Customer. It's all about not just customer service, but customer love. Now that's a term that I think that you coined, right?
I've been using it and saying it forever because customer service is a department, but customer love's a mindset.
I was having a conversation with somebody recently about personal development and what success really is about. And I'm like, people come to us, they don't come to us for the magazine equivalent of an MBA, right? They get that from elsewhere. But what we can help them with and always have is sort of soft skills. And because that's where a lot of us, either in our career or our business, get ahead, is the way that we treat people.
Yes.
Our emotional quotient. And the guy said to me, I went to school for hospitality, and hospitality is all about soft skills. And I was like, damn, I bet Simon has exactly that experience. That's what makes him so good, is because your background is all in hospitality.
30 years of hospitality, 6 different companies, 10 different jobs. So it's the industry that I love.
What how does one, because a lot of us, I've never been a waiter, right? But I can see myself being a terrible waiter because because I get your own ranch. How does one get put in that mindset of doing the right thing by the customer all the time?
Well, the one thing is you think of the customer as coming to your home. And so when you have guests to your house, you prepare, you clean up, and you want to make it presentable. And then once everyone's inside the house, you get them whatever they need. If you take that approach into working in a restaurant and or hospitality, that everyone is a guest in your home. And how do you make sure it's a warm, inviting environment that makes them want to stay and come back again?
So how does the same mindset then translate? You talk about this in the story. How does it translate to other industries where it's not retail, it's not food and beverage or hospitality? You're dealing with clients.
Yeah. So first of all, it's starting with how are they wired? What do you know about them? What information have they provided to you? And if it's just simply their name and what they're trying to accomplish, you start there. So I'd say, Josh, how's it going today? Yeah, I know you want to buy a phone. I know you want to do this, but how are you today? It's humanizing that moment. And all of a sudden, it kind of takes people back to say, what? You're connecting? So that's where you start. Be human.
You cite a stat in the story that only small business employees only request customers' names in 21% of client interactions, but 86% of customers in the same survey reported that they like it when someone calls them by their name. How have we missed the boat, so many of us, on just what good customer service is?
Because we focused on the transaction instead of the relationship. When you sell, that's a transaction, but when you connect using the name, that's a relationship, at least the start of it. So think about what Chick-fil-A does. You go and you order and they ask for your name and you give them your name. And then 3 minutes later, they say, Josh, your order's ready. You're like, whoa, what other place does that? So it's moving from transactions to relationships.
You've got kind of a short list of advice for ways to infuse customer love into your interactions with clients and customers. See, help, infuse, and praise. Can we talk through some of those?
Sure, sure.
So see your clients for who they are. What does that really mean?
So it's not about what you can give me or pay me, but see you for who you are, where you are, and then I'm listening for what's the next opportunity to exceed your expectations.
You say to help the people that you interact with where they are, not for what you can gain from them.
Everybody focuses on upselling. What else can I sell? beyond the initial sell. So just help them do a really great job. Do it with joy and a smile, and then they will decide if they want more.
One of these is infuse them with hope. And this really brings something to mind for me is in this house that we live in, first home purchase. We got a lot of realtors watching us. And I think about our real estate agent who, when we were touring these houses, and I'm like, we'll never find one. We'll never find one that we can afford and also like. And she's like, yes, we will. So, and just over and over again, the more doubt that I had, the more she infused me with hope. So I've never really thought about that as an important part of a sale, but it is.
It totally is. And here's the thing, I was in Australia speaking for a huge real estate company. And one of the guys I was talking to said he noticed when he took the home buyer to look at homes, they had a child with them. So he said, what if he got down on his knees and said, guess what? I've got some toys for you to play with while you're looking at the house. All of a sudden, the mother is like, we're working with this guy. I don't know who else wants to sell us a house, but this guy, because he understood it wasn't just about buying the house. It was about connecting with the child who would grow up in the house. So you infuse with hope when you look beyond just they're going to buy the house to say, wait a minute, how do I create a connection for life? Because they may refer other people to me down the road.
Yeah, it's really the basis of selling, to make those connections. You say finally, praise the client or the buyer for the value and difference that they're already making. Why do we need to praise them?
So many times people want to be seen, understood, and valued. So if I take a moment to find out what you do professionally and say, God, Josh, you're really great at that. I just read your article, or I just read your magazine. I found out something about you. What you're doing, you're shifting the spotlight from you to them and praising them, raising them up. Now, I'm not talking blowing smoke up their leg or anything, but come across sincere with some authenticity.
Well, Simon, it's a great article. Looking forward to your next one for success. It won't be long, I'm sure. We go back many, many years, and we'll keep this partnership up. Where can people, in the meantime, connect with you?
SimonTBailey.com. Don't forget the T for terrific.
He is the great Simon T. Bailey, in a very red room, beautifully color coordinated books behind him. It is so great to catch up with you, Simon.
Thank you, my friend. Good to see you.
All right. And all of you out there, good to see you hanging out on Achievers All Access. We'll join you next time. So long, everybody.